YouTube, Intuitive Edge. So tonight I'm going to take a look at the European Union. We're going to look outside the United States. Generally in my readings, I live in the USA, and so I kind of focus on things going on here, but occasionally things come up in the readings that have to do with other places. And I actually had a subscriber ask me about Germany specifically, and I thought that this would be a good time to look into kind of what's going on with the greater EU. It seems like there's some underpinnings of different factions that are making some changes over there. There seems to be a rise in nationalism. Merkel seems to have a little issues coming up with her power and control, a little bit of rebellion perhaps. So I want to look into this, and for those of my viewers who are over in that area in the EU or in Germany, forgive me if I'm not a scholar for everything that's going on over there, so I may not know everything, but what comes up in the cards, I'm going to let the cards speak for themselves. And if I may not understand what the card is saying, I'll try to lay it out as much as I can explain it. But it may make more sense to the people that are actually over there. So anyway, I'm hoping that this will make sense, and that whatever comes through the cards will be the message that people need to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle up the cards, and then we'll get started, and we'll take a look at the greater European Union, specifically Germany. Okay, so I shuffled up the cards. Let's cut the deck. So we're going to look at the past, present. Now, interesting, on the past we have the Sun card. This tells me that there's been, that things up until now, if things are changing, that kind of seems like what's happening over there, a little bit of unrest. But through the past, we have the Sun card, which is basically a positive, warm, happy card, that things have been good. Post probably World War II, things have been, the country was able to rebuild, talking about Germany specifically. And it feels like there's been some good energy on there. Now, this is the present card. Right now we have a messenger that's reversed. It's the Knight of Wands. This card, this is a card about creative energy, great ideas, moving forward, having personal vision. But when it's reversed, it's like it's either having trouble moving forward in a positive direction, or that there's something that's not been a positive direction. This is a card about movement, and the way he's facing tells me that this has to do with the direction of the country. So this is like this is just not quite the right direction, or having trouble getting to the right, getting to a positive direction, I guess is the way I would put that. This is what's hidden. Now we have another messenger card, the Page of Swords. This is a card about needing to look at how your thoughts, guarding your thoughts. It's like having to almost stand your ground, and things popping up. Okay, this is just the vision of what I see with the card. Just bear with me a moment here. So in the image of this card, it's like somebody's standing guard with this sword, but there's this stuff coming up that they have to be vigilant. And it feels like the people are needing to kind of be vigilant. They're having to come into maybe a role that they haven't been used to, where they're having to kind of take the lead, maybe take back some power for the citizenry, and they're having to actually fight a little bit. I think it's put a little bit of a spirit of fighting, not so much in a bad way, but wanting to fight for what's right, or to make, it's like things have been with this card before it, meaning things were kind of not feeling like they were heading in a positive direction. This is like feeling like you're having to fight to make things right again. Okay, all right, let's keep going. This is the card of obstacles. And we have, this is like a card of sadness over this tension. That's another thing I probably should mention with that card, is that feeling of tension. Okay. This card is facing that. So this is, to me, feeling like an overwhelming grief or frustration at feeling this tension, the way things are going, and feeling like you're in the middle of trying to fight something, and feeling grief over it, feeling sadness, or just like a sense of frustration, maybe some to the point of like almost feeling despondent, or what can we do? How can we fix this? What can we do to make things better for ourselves, and preserve our way of life? I think this card is like, things have been good, and we're having to basically fight to preserve what has been our traditions and our way of living, and what has made us who we are. And this is feeling like grief over either that being lost or having to fight for it. All right. This is the greater environment. This is kind of like what's going on over all of this. And we have the Eight of Swords, which is a card of feeling like closed off. I heard inundated. I don't know what. So inundated and like inundated and isolated at the same time. That's the feeling I get. The feeling of this card is like being isolated, or not feeling like that. Hold on a moment. Okay, so with the Eight of Swords, it's you have this feeling of like feeling like being powerless, or feeling like you're not able to make things right. A sense of powerlessness, I guess, is the feeling with that. Let's see if we can get things to where we're getting some, kind of laying out this picture, and it's feeling, there's a lot of emotion with it. Well, let's see if we can wrap this around and have something that brings us maybe into a positive direction with this. With this next card, this is the question I asked on this one is, in what way are things changing? And interesting enough, we have the suspended person, which is also the Hanged Man. This is a card of giving up something to gain something better. It's also like marching to your own drum, being your own, coming into your own. So this feels like there's some shifting going on with this difficulty. But as I see the suspended person, this card is like this is like a release. Feeling, it's almost like surrendering in order to be released from something. It's giving up something to gain something, release through surrender. So this feels like there will be some changes that may involve compromise, or shifting in how people relate to their the way they're governed. But this, it's not, I almost want to say like a resignation, but that's not quite what I mean. And what I mean by resignation is when you're resigned to, let's see, how do I want to explain that? It's giving up, but not in a way that is necessarily a bad thing, but it's releasing something, being released from something, and coming to peace with it, and being at peace with how things are being released. Okay, and I apologize if that doesn't make any sense at all. But I'm just trying to describe what I'm feeling with that. So anyway, I hope that makes sense to somebody out there. All right. On the future card, we have the Emperor coming in. And I'm wondering if this is related to either another leader coming in who is even more like a strong leadership. But it almost feels like it's coming after or on the heels of this kind of relinquish or release or being resigned to something shifting or changing, and then like a strength comes in the power center of with the Emperor card. Now, thankfully, this Emperor card is not on the reversal, because that would mean like a dictator, or somebody who's over the top control and power. This is like a nice, like a power structure coming in that's maybe going to help release some of that tension. But this feels like some people are going to have to release themselves from their expectations. Again, I'm sorry that's not incredibly clear to me, but hopefully if you live over there, I'm hoping this will kind of make sense a little bit. The overall card is a card of moving. This is like a shift in direction, or a change, or needing to move in a new direction. And so I think what these cards have painted is that as well. The change in direction, needing to move in a new way that is better for the country, better for the EU as a whole. And I feel very much that Germany is very central. What happens in Germany is basically going to, I guess, spring out from there, and it's going to have a ripple effect. So this subtle shift in changes is kind of what's taking place in the greater area as well, and a shift in direction that will hopefully bring people to a more peaceful state. This release, and it feels kind of nice in that regard. As long as people don't feel like, well, there's nothing I can do, I might as well just, give up. I'm hoping that's not that feeling with that release and surrender. So I'm hoping that people can still feel as though they have a voice, and that they can make positive change without feeling like it's hopeless or helpless. So hopefully this is more just a feeling of, now we can relax and release and surrender, and know that things are moving in a better direction. Okay. All right, that's it for this reading. I hope you're doing well, and I appreciate everyone who stops by my channel. If you liked it, leave a like, and I will make more videos, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.